You'll learn the basics about wholesale real estate. Drive, pick an area of operation, and look for vacant, boarded up, just plain ugly houses. Skip trace the person, find the person on the telephone number list, and then get to work. But what do you do with all the stuff you need? Well, I'm going to show you today what you need to bring with you when you go out in the field. So, what is the first thing? A slap hammer. Now, let me tell you about this puppy. This slap hammer is great for extending into a high telephone pole, a high area, maybe on the garage or something that you need to put a sign on. Now, what kind of signs are we talking about? Well, this is what I use, and let's do it the right way. And I just slap this baby up. I put my phone number in here. And one of the things you want to be careful about when you're using a slap hammer, and this is a real story, in the hood, you've got to be careful because this can sound like a gun. So a pro's tip is bring a staple gun with you if you're concerned about that. But basically, the slap hammer works really good for this, and I put these on the houses and on the telephone poles around in the neighborhood. So that's the most important thing you can do. Now, what I do to store my supplies is I simply put this in a Home Depot do-it-yourself bucket. Cost about $5. Have everything in the back of my office, which is right here. Have everything I need for my office. Incidentally, you're going to want to be careful to get the right kind of staples that dig deep through corrugated cardboard, the corrugated signs like this. So I use at least a ½ inch and make sure that you pick that up the right way. Also, we're going to use branded merchandise. So this is Defy Homes. Right now we're using the Defy Mobile brand as we get some of our new material. Now, when you're driving by, you're looking for boarded up, vacant, just plain ugly houses. In your car, one of the things you're going to need is nice signs on the side of your car. This has brought me business as people have tracked me down with my number, and I've been able to do business because of that. So it's worth it. This was not too expensive, but you can see how big it is, and it's very, very effective. So you want to make sure that you have this. You also want to make sure that you branded yourself with, like you see, my hat, the shirt, and I have business cards that I use. And I literally pass these out. They're good on both sides to just about everyone we meet. So that's important, the business cards. Also, I bring with me a folder that I put in the bucket that I just have general notes in if I need it, and extra signs. Now, what else do I do? Glad you asked. When I run out of those signs, I can use simply this 5-pack neon poster board. I got these in Wichita, Kansas. It was about $2.50 a pack, and I've got about 15 packs. So if you don't have the ability to get the signs, just do the packs. And I write cash for houses, C-A-S-H, the number 4, and houses, and my phone number. And I slap those up all over the place. So if I run out of these signs, I eventually will, I use that. Okay, so what else do I have here in my bag of tricks? Well, when you're going into these boarded up, vacant, and just plain ugly houses, if you're doing strictly wholesale, you need a flashlight. Make sure it works, but flashlights are really good. And also, if you happen to run into somebody that maybe you weren't expecting to, at least this can serve as a deterrent. What else do I have? Once I put a house under contract, I use these. These flags I put all over the front lawn, wrap them around the trees, wrap around the fence. Let's see how long they are, 120 feet. So that gives you a lot of room to do a lot of wrapping, and it stands out. You put the neon signs, you put the flags out there. This is the real tactical way to draw attention to your house. Also, what I do is find key intersections where I put the signs up and directional signs, and it really works. So what else do I have here? Let's see. This is my secondary flashlight, so I have 2 of them, okay, in case I need them. Tape that I use masking tape to go over numbers that may be old, and I'll tape this, put a new number on there. That happens a lot. So I bring tape, gloves, which I always use to go inside a new property. If I want to pick up something or whatever, I'll use that. Then of course your Sharpies are pretty important. I use a couple of different ones, but make sure that they are non-running, that they're clear and legible. And I made all those mistakes. I've gotten running, and I've got some examples over there of ones that have run. But you want to get Sharpies that are clear and legible. Take your time in writing your number. Now, why do I say that? Because I haven't, and I regret that I haven't. So you don't want that to happen. And then this little baby comes in handy, because you never know when you're going to need to be able to cut things, put up signs, anything like that. So that's very helpful. We've got plenty of these. That's a big thing. And I use this to put holes in the corrugated plywood or cardboard. And then I use twist ties to put on these signs right here. Once again, upside down, but hey, we're just doing this. And put these on fences. So that's really helpful. Another sign I use is these yellow ones. Put cash for houses, put my phone number, and put the directional sign. Or if I'm selling a house, which often is the case, house for sale. And that really makes a difference. So these are several things that you can do to enhance what you're doing in wholesale real estate. You need to get out there. You need to look for boarded up, vacant, just plain ugly houses. You need to stop. You need to talk to neighbors, make sure it's vacant, put up one of these signs, and it can be either that or it can be that. Again, cash for houses, put your number, and then let the phone ring. And if people are irate, help them understand that you're here to help them and here to help the neighborhood. If they want you to take it down, say, hey, I'll be glad to take it down, but don't overthink that or worry that. They'll threaten a lot of things, and nobody in my years has ever followed through. So not really worried about that, because you're helping the neighbors. The neighbors look at that kind of property, and it's a blighted property, and they want it fixed. And you're there to solve their problem. So make sure your car is washed, you put your signs up, you work out of the back trunk, and you get out there. So if you like this video, make sure that you subscribe, do all the things you need to do to grow my YouTube channel, and I'll see you on the road of wholesale real estate. Get out there and make it happen today.